Hey guys, welcome to day 3 of my Christmas and July series using the Carols of Christmas stamp set. This stamp set will be available September 1st for customers. However, if you want to get a jump start and you can't wait, if you join Stampin' Up! Before July 31st, before the end of this month, you can earn this stamp set as well as $72, including this, worth of extra product you could earn for free, in addition to your $125 worth of product you can choose for joining Stampin' Up! And all of that costs you 99 bucks plus tax. So I've already explained it in 2 other videos, as well as a video introducing the promotion. So I will link the promotion video above, and then at the end I will link the 2 other videos, the other 2 cards I made where I explained in further detail. So let's go ahead and get started with our supplies we're using today. Of course, we're using the stamp set, like I've already said. You're using the dies. The dies, if you do join Stampin' Up!, the dies is something you would have to purchase separately. When choosing your $125 worth of product, you would want to choose the dies. You just get the stamp set for free. So we're using the dies. Then I'm bringing in some rhinestones, some red glimmer paper today. I have my Stampin' Dimensionals, my glue dots. I'm going to be using my Stitched Shapes framelit dies. I'm going to be using the square, the largest one. And I've already cut it out. I believe this is Sahara Sand. I will double check before I list the materials, and it will be listed below, but I'm pretty sure that's Sahara Sand. Then I have Whisper White card base. It is A2 size, so 5.5 by 4 1/4. And then I have a white, Whisper White panel, which is just an 1/8 of an inch shorter. So you have a slight little border. The inks we'll be using today are Wild Wasabi and Real Red. So I'm going to go and clear off and we'll get started. All right, in the dies, I'm going to be using this die right here. Now, if you choose to join Stampin' Up! And get the free stamp set, you're not going to have the dies come with you. So as an alternative, you would just skip this part. But the card, oh, I didn't even show you the card we're making today. Hello. This is the card we're making today. I made a few mistakes, and I'll talk about that when I get to that point. But if you were to join Stampin' Up!, you decide you don't want the dies, you can skip this part. This die is what created this right here. But the card alone would look nice without it. You can just extend your border stamping, like your little poinsettias and leaves. You can just take them all the way to the edge, and that would still look very pretty. So since I have the dies, and I love the dies, I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm going to do. First, I'm just going to take this and kind of place it where I like. And I'm just using some washi tape. It's really low-tack washi tape. I mean, that's not even really sticking. And go ahead and adhere this down. I may take another piece since that's not doing anything. Yeah, it's not even sticking. All right. And then I will run this through my Big Shot. Okay, so my washi tape isn't sticky, but then it just goes ahead and decides to tear my cardstock. But I will disguise that. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm going to use just a pen, a needle, to punch these out. Then I'm going to take my die piece and line it up the best way I can. What I am more concerned about is getting these end little dots even. So that is where I am focusing my attention to line up the die. I don't really care about this end because worst case I can always trim it if there's more on this side than that side. Alright, so I have all my border punched out. Looks really cool. Just be careful of these little thin strips up here because they are very delicate and fragile. I'm going to go ahead and take my, just like I did yesterday, take my red glimmer paper and adhere that to the back. I'm just going to do it, and you could do it like this if you just want to move fast, but the glimmer paper comes 2 sheets 12 by 12, so I'm very stingy with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut strips and adhere it to the back, and I'll speed this process up. All right, next I'm going to take my Real Red and Wild Wasabi, and I need my stamps, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the poinsettia, the leaves, and then these little dots, which I believe these little dots you can stamp in the center. Stamp in the center of the poinsettia, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But for today, we're just going to do this. Now, on my card sample, I messed up. You'll notice that I have a line here, there's a splotch here, and there's a little splotch here. And I actually tried to use a white gel pen to cover it up. Didn't work too well. I might go back now that the ink is completely dry and try it again. This one is the worst of them, where it's kind of hard to kind of hide that. And what it is I pressed too hard in my ink pad, and then I got ink around the rubber. So when I stamped, I pushed down, and then this touched my paper. Now you can trim this if you cut it at an angle. So if I took my scissors and kind of trimmed it like this, you want to keep the most surface area on this side so it adheres to your stamping block and you don't mess up the stamp itself. So if you kind of cut it at an angle, I hope that makes sense, to get rid of some of that outline on that red rubber, that helps a little bit. I just try to be careful when I'm stamping. Obviously I wasn't at that when I did that card. So we're going to try it again. Hopefully I don't make the same mistake. So with Stampin' Up! Ink pads, the ink sits at the top. When they're stored, the ink pad is upside down. That's why when you open it, you do a lot of twisting. And they're also foam ink pads, so the ink sits right at the top. So you have to literally lightly tap your stamp. Don't press down like with the linen ink pads. Like your basic black is, I think it would be linen. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's different than your foam. You really have to press down in the basic black to get a lot of ink on your stamp. And this isn't stamping out perfectly because I'm being extra careful, but it's okay for what I want. And I did it here and there. So just be careful. All right, now I'm going to go to my Wild Wasabi. I'm pretty sure this is the inside of the poinsettia. I'm going to see if I can stamp it in green just for the fun of it. Of course, I can't get it in the center, but it fits perfectly inside the poinsettia. But for my card, we're just going to do it as a little embellishment kind of stamp and to cover up any mistakes I made. So I think that's good. I'm going to do my sentiments. Flip this. I have it in the center on my sample card. I'm going to do, oh, I hate that. I'm going to do mine to the top. So I'm going to go and stop there. Put this aside. I do need a scrap of Whisper White, which I forgot to mention, so I'm going to just bring that in. And what I want to do is I want to stamp my poinsettia a few times because I'm going, and I don't care if I get ink like that because I'm going to fussy cut them out. And I'm going to do the same with my leaf. All right, here are my pieces I fussy cut out. Now, just to let you know, the leaves have a die. But since I had so many, I just fussy cut them out. It took me no time at all. And since I was cutting out the poinsettias, I just cut them out all together. So I'm going to put these aside, and I'm going to come in with my sentiment Deck the Halls. Now, I didn't use the stitched square on this one, so I had plenty of room to stamp. I'm hoping that I won't be too far off stamping this guy on the stitched square because it is a little bit smaller. On this one, I just used the layering squares. but I wanted to add kind of a decorative element with the stitched. And of course, like I mentioned before, stamp first, then die cut. The only time I ever die cut first is when I am doing a video, just to save time. And my ink pad probably needs re-inking, so I'll have to stamp it a few times. And like I mentioned yesterday, the more surface area you have with a stamp, the more likely you're going to have to keep re-inking it, because it's such a big, it's a big sentiment. It's a thick lettering. I love this sentiment because it has kind of the reflection marks, for lack of a better term, in the sentiment. It's really pretty. And it also has that background shading. All right, I'm going to bring my panel in with my card base, and this time I'm going to use my Tombow Mono liquid adhesive to adhere the back. I'm going to pop this up with some Stampin' Dimensionals. And then I'm going to take my pieces and I'm going to go ahead and adhere them with glue dots, just kind of randomly. And since I have a couple of these left over, I'm going to just pop them up on what I stamped. That way I can kind of cover the imperfections and nobody will know. And then just for fun, I do have the rhinestones, and I'm going to take the smallest and put them in the center. Now these rhinestones are retired. You can still purchase rhinestones that look just like this. They just don't have these strips, so it's just basically this. But I have my old ones, and since we still sell rhinestones, I'm still using my old pack. And there is today's card. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And like I mentioned, as an alternative, if you don't have the dies, you would omit this part here and it would still make a very pretty card. Just extend your background stamping a little bit. But that completes day 3. So here is day 2 and day 1 using the Carols of Christmas stamp set. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this series. I will be back with one more card tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be featuring the ornaments, which I love. The ornaments have a die right here and here, and also this beautiful corner dies. So I haven't made the card yet. I'm going to make it later today. I'm going to try my best to incorporate both of those so you can see a full range of what the dies can do, but also the stamps. So if you are interested in joining Stampin' Up! And receiving this stamp set ahead of time, let me know. Tomorrow, the 27th, demonstrators can view the holiday catalog. I am so excited. August 1st, as a demonstrator, we can pre-order the holiday products. Stampin' Up! Has started releasing videos for demonstrators, and today's video is awesome. I cannot wait to get what was in today's video. So if you're a demonstrator, you can get access to all that. August 1st, demonstrators can pre-order, and then September 1st, it will be available to our customers. So let me know if you have any questions on that. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and today's card. Here's a close-up. Really pretty, and your traditional red and green Christmas colors. So I will catch you tomorrow for the final video in the Christmas in July series, and see you then. Bye.